Hello there, welcome. This is Patty Bennett. I blog at pattystamps.com, and today we are going to be talking about this really beautiful frame, and this is from the Stampin' Up! Heirloom Frames Dies and Embossing Folders. So in the set, there is a rectangle and an oval, and I have lots of tips for you today to show you how to use them and how to achieve this really pretty look. Can you see how beautiful that is? It's embossed, and then the oval is also embossed. So we are going to be going over some tips. If you're joining me on the Facebook Live, hello and welcome. This is Patty Bennett, and I blog at pattystamps.com. You might also be watching the replay. You might be watching on my blog. You might be watching on YouTube. Wherever you are watching, hello and welcome. I am so glad that you are here. So the frames, the heirloom frames, are first seen in the Stampin' Up! Catalog down here on the bottom left of page 4, and it tells you that they are profiled on page 13. So let's flip over to 13 so you can see exactly. So it's in the woven thread bundle in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and the frames and embossing folders come together. So they're shown here, but then they're also shown in the back with the embossing folders and the dies. So let's just look at that so that you can see. So they're down here on page 197. And I'm going to show you how the dies and the embossing folders work together. And this is hi, sorry, Amy. I was just reading a comment. She said that I am spoiling you with some lives. Well, thank you. I'm just trying to catch up. It's just been so long, and I've been really having this huge pile of projects that I want to show you, and I just have not had time to do the videos. So now I'm just thrilled that I have some time to show you these projects. So let's look at what the product looks like, and then I'll tell you how to use it. So it comes with a rectangle and an oval die. So these are the metal dies that you're used to seeing. I just have them on my own magnet sheet. That doesn't come from Stampin' Up! That way, but I like to do this. I store them this way from Stampin' Storage. And I just kind of have to overlap them on there to store them, or I could put it on 2 sheets, but that works. And then also in the package, you will get the embossing folders. So let me show you some tips now of how these work together and what to do to make this so pretty. So I had blogged this card a couple of weeks ago, and I put a tip on my blog that what you want to do is die cut the actual oval first and then emboss. So I thought I would show you kind of that step-by-step how that works. So when you have your die cutting platform, you know, whatever you use, this was the Stampin' Up! Big Shot platform, you have your clear plate on there, and then you would take your piece of cardstock and you would take your framelit. Let's just do the rectangle for starters. And here's a little bonus. If you use a quarter sheet and you kind of position it in there evenly all the way around, and you put your other clear plate on and you run that through your die cutting machine, what you're going to get, I've already done that, is 3 pieces, okay? So the middle would pop out. This would be the frame that we would actually use with the embossing folder. And then this would be your outer piece, and that you could use on another project. So you could use a smaller piece and save cardstock and just cut it barely bigger than that. That would be totally fine. But if you want a bonus frame, go ahead and use a quarter sheet and evenly place that die on there. But all we need is this smaller frame. So same thing with the oval. If you had your quarter sheet and your oval die, if you place that pretty evenly and you put your other clear plate on there and you die cut it in your die cutting machine, you will get 3 pieces. So you will get, let me orient it the same way just so I'm not confusing you. So you would get that outer frame, you would get the frame that we're going to emboss, and then you have a bonus oval. So you'd have 3 pieces. So I hope that's making sense so far. But again, to do the embossing and to make this card, we only need that middle oval piece. So you do your die cutting first, and then you would do the embossing. And let me show you a tip when you actually go to do your embossing. So I die cut just like I showed you. And remember that little extra piece that's in the middle? I took a piece of double stick tape and I opened this up and I stuck an extra oval right in the middle. And let me show you why. Because when you go to emboss, it's kind of hard if you can kind of line it up and you can kind of look from the back and you're trying your best to get it lined up. But if you just have that oval and you just sort of, it kind of locks in, it just nestles right there, and you close it up and you look, you'll see that it's pretty perfectly aligned. It's, you know, depending on where you actually stick this will depend on how perfectly it comes out when it's embossed. I mean, obviously, right? So then your sandwich would be your platform. And since this is one of those thick 3D embossing folders, let's just get that aligned just so that you know how that would look. All you do is you put this directly right on your Big Shot platform. And then Stampin' Up! Now offers a new plate. And this is for the 3D embossing folders. At first I thought, well, we probably don't need that. We could just make some kind of a shim. But let me tell you, it does make a really big difference. You just put that on top, and then you would run that through your die cutting machine. And when it comes out, then you have your embossed image. And it's beautiful. It's really lovely. And you can use it either way. So you could use it where those little flowers are debossed, or you can flip it and you can use it where they're raised. Either way works perfectly fine. So, oh, I'm glad you're enjoying the tips. I'm seeing some comments go by. So same thing with the rectangle. If you just put, all you need is one from your first time that you do this, and then you nestle this around there and close it up, then your rectangle is going to be in the right spot. And there you have the embossed rectangle. And this one, again, gosh, that might be a little hard to see. I hope you can see how pretty that is. You can flip it either direction. So it doesn't matter which way you want to use it. It's fine either way. And may I suggest, if you, for adhering it, if you want it flat onto your card, use the multi-purpose liquid glue. If you want to use dimensionals, totally fine as well. So on our projects here, this one just has the white frame, and I framed some of the designer paper called Bird Ballad. These 3 are actually on my blog today at pattystamps.com. So if you are looking for those, you can check pattystamps.com. That's Patty with a Y, pattystamps.com, and you'll see that. You'll see those 3. This one I blogged a few weeks ago, and I wanted to show you this tip. I used a sponge dauber and some ink to give the raised portion a little bit of definition. So let me show you. Just, that's super easy to do. So I'm just going to grab this one, and I'm going to do part of it with the same color, which is Seaside Spray, and just show you. I just kind of go lightly in a circle like this. Okay, so there's that extra definition that you get when you use a dauber. And then over here, let me just show you, if you go a shade darker, this is Pretty Peacock. And this would be really pretty as well. This will really make that pop. Look how much that pops. Of course, I would probably try to make that a little bit more even there, but you get the idea. I just wanted to show you how beautiful and how amazing that is when you go ahead and pop out the colors. I think it's just really pretty. And then, of course, you could always take Wink of Stella because, you know, everything needs a little Wink of Stella. And if you just lightly go over that, then the whole thing is going to sparkle and it's going to be gorgeous. Ah, pretty sparkly. And then this, I haven't blogged this yet. I just made this yesterday with Cindy, and I saw that Cindy's on here. Hello, my dear friend. We get together and stamp. We try to do it at least once a month. Sometimes it's a little more often. And she brought this card for our little stamping day that we had. And it's the same idea as this with it's actually the same color, the terracotta tile frame in oval. And then we did some sponging, but we decorated this one with the daisy punch. So cute. And I did this one with the perennial essence stamp set, and I just decorated. So that is kind of your 411, your basic info about using the heirloom frames. And I thought this was much easier to explain in a video than it would be on my blog post. So that's why I thought I would do the quick video, just to show you the process of using the dies and the embossing folders, and just to make sure that you know where they are in the catalog so that you can find those. And again, it's Heirloom Frames Dies and Embossing Folder, and it comes all as a set. And I do believe right at the moment it is on back order, but I think you can go ahead and put it in your cart and be alerted when it's back in stock. I had these ready to go long before I saw that it was on back order, so I'm sorry about that, but you will get it eventually if you go ahead and at least get the information from Stampin' Up when it is available. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will put a link in the Facebook Live up above to the blog post where you can see both of these cards. And if you're looking at this on YouTube later, you can look down below in the description and I will have links to these cards. So again, hope you enjoyed that, and do take a look. You can start here on page 4 just to get a sense of the heirloom frames and how that comes in the catalog. And if you need a catalog, let me know. There is a link at pattystamps.com to request a catalog. Be happy to send you one if you don't already have a demonstrator. So if you need to run, go ahead. That's fine. I'm done with the presentation. If you have questions, I'm just going to watch the Facebook Live comments going by for a minute. And if you have a question about this, I'm going to stay with you and answer those questions. So just go ahead and comment if there was anything that you needed to know. I'm just going to show a close-up of this again because I know it's kind of hard to see when it's down there on the table, but you can see the scripty embossing folder in the background and the heirloom frame die as the little frame there around the birds. And then this was the oval that I did with the terracotta tile, and you can see that better because of the sponging. So there were the samples that I was sharing today. So just checking if there were any questions. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Really nice comments. I appreciate that. If there aren't any questions, I'll let you go, and I will see you next time. I have lots more projects to share with you, and I love that you hang out with me. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.